All that neon goes on till dawn, leading to an empty dream again. Yeah. Facing nights in the morning, white lies are fading in, waiting for a sign that takes me back to the beginning. Yeah. No time for guilt or pleasure, you know I can't do that. I wish that I knew better, 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 you're still waking up and complaining, but I know you know we won't make it. Packing all my things and leave again, yeah. And get lost in all I see. All that neon goes on till dawn, leading to an empty dream, 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 dream. We tried to work this out before, but now I'm stronger. Ignite the fire once more, but I don't want you. Tracing city lights, make it right. I don't wanna press play. Ooh, days washing away. Facing nights in the morning, white lies are fading in, waiting for a sign that takes me back to the beginning. Yeah. No time for guilt or pleasure, you know I can't do that. I wish that I knew better, 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 better. Facing nights in the morning, white lies are fading in, waiting for a sign that takes me back to the beginning. Yeah. No time for guilt or pleasure, you know I can't do that. I wish that I knew better, 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 better.
Well, hello there, and welcome to the Dota Pro Circuit. We are here in the final region. It's a Chinese region brought to you by Perfect World. My name is Nomad, and joining me today to get into this best-of-3 series, we've got Black and Lizard to jump into this one. Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
Every day, same question, every day feeling good, Nomad. Thank you for having us here once again to watch some legit Chinese Dotes. You, Black, not so good, maybe?
I mean, you know, I woke up, had breakfast, came here, saw the cost, kind of ruined my day, but you know,
happens.
you gotta just move on.
Ghetto. I mean, to be fair, at least you got your hair sorted out by the, you know, in case you guys don't know, Black and the makeup person here have a very special relationship, and she's been doing his hair in the mornings now as well, which you know, she doesn't do for either of us.
Special
obviously.
treatment, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder why, really.
They gave him the easiest voice lines, and guess the voice line. He's
Yeah.
getting hair done here.
Yeah.
There's something
Special
but it's
treatment.
black. He's a special little boy, and we need to give him some special treatment.
And he's a little bit of extra looking after, don't you?
Yeah,
Aw.
I love it.
We
Makes me
love
feel
it too.
very cozy.
Ah, good treatment. Alrighty, let's get into the series of the day because, of course, we are starting a little bit later due to the lower bracket game going on a little bit longer than expected. But we've got EHOME versus PSG.LGD on the cards today. Now, these two teams are right next to each other in the standings, cozying up next to each other. And a win for both of these teams would mean a lot for them. You know, it's a case of EHOME trying to avoid relegation and LGD trying to break into the wild cards. So both teams really hungry for it. What are your overall expectations coming into this series?
PSG.LGD probably considered favorites because on paper they still have some chances of going through, but they're very minimal. In order for them to manage to get a tiebreaker with one of the teams that are going to the major,
It's only Elephant at this point.
it's so difficult. Like Elephant, they need to lose to Magma for PSG.LGD to stand the shots. So it's going to be an interesting series, but not a series that PSG.LGD or EHOME were looking forward to. Like at least not in this state. Maybe they were expecting, okay, this will be our battle for second, first spot in the league.
We can have a look at those standings and see exactly where everyone is sitting. To give you guys a bit of context here, there's LGD and EHOME tucked up in the middle. LGD just one spot away from those wildcard qualifications. Meanwhile, EHOME just one spot away from elimination, unfortunately. So their fire is lit. But do you think that's going to hopefully unlock a kind of energy within these teams to really start playing at their best, Black?
The thing is, I feel like, unfortunately, it doesn't really matter much anymore. Like, I can't see a world where Elephant is going to lose to Magma. The top 3 teams are already set in stone. Then if Elephant wins, they're the 4th team to go. And, you know, LGD, they're definitely a favorite in this one. They will probably take it, even 2-0, in my opinion. But, you know, it's not in their hands anymore. Like,
It's not.
unfortunately.
Yeah, especially if you think about the last series they've got. And the last series that they've got, Vici Gaming is waiting for them. And, man, that's not looking easy.
No,
Yeah.
no, that's a tough one
VG
as
is
well.
a scary beast right now.
Yeah. But to be fair, if Magma lose to Elephant like we're expecting, but then LGD are able to beat Vici Gaming, then they will still be in a connect. There'll be a tiebreaker. So it's not like there's no chance for LGD at all.
Sure.
It's just very difficult.
Yeah.
Very, very difficult. Like, they're definitely, I mean, it sounds kind of funny to say that, but a dark horse, you know, PSG, when you talk about them, you're always like, wow, this best team in China for the longest time. This time, they look, a little bit worse than we thought they would.
So with PSG.LGD, you know, talking a little bit more in depth about this team, what are your main concerns for them which you want them to address in this series to give you a little bit more hope coming into their series versus Vici?
Are you really thinking about and talking about nothing to say if you're talking about what are your concerns coming with PSG.LGD and also their bright spots, let's put it that way. Like, nothing to say he can really bring a lot to the team or he can bring pretty much nothing from that mid lane, depending on how much of thought was put into his own matchup in the draft, right?
Yeah, and that's drafting is actually something I want to get into with LGD because previously, in all the tournaments, they've been quite creative. They've been testing things out. They've been pushing the boundaries a bit, doing some things we don't expect. You know, to give an extreme example, the Zinq Techies was something which is very common to see. In the DPC, that aspect of this team has completely gone. They are a much tamer team than they have been previously, and to me, like, that's part of their strength, which is now gone. Why do you think that is?
I know it's strange. It's like if Bobuka would suddenly just play, you know, Tusk every game, like the safest possible he could possibly play. It just holds the player and the team back. As you said, it's definitely a strength of theirs, and they're not using it. I don't know why. Maybe they're like scared of trying to think outside the box because they want to be like really safe. You know, DPC lose one game can really hurt you, but definitely a big setback for them.
Yeah, and if you look at all their series versus big teams, they've lost 2-1 versus IG, 2-1 versus Aster, 2-1 versus Elephant. So there's definitely something there. They still
Yeah.
can win. They can still win games. But then when you look a little bit deeper and you watch those victories that they've had, they're mostly with Monkey King. It's Monkey King position 1 for EHOME every single game. They're not really adapting to these other drafts. And sometimes there's a PL here and there, but it doesn't feel as convincing as, I don't know, let's say Vichy Gaming plays it.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, especially with this Chinese region, the teams which are doing the best are the meta setters and not the meta followers. So I'd really like to see this series, especially considering, you could say that it should be convincing, and you could say there's not that much on the line because qualification is so difficult for them. Maybe this is a part where we finally get to see them experimenting, and I think that could be a huge boon for them. But we'll have to see. Meanwhile, on the other side of the coin, we've got EHOME. EHOME have been looking, unfortunately, like the weakest out of the best in the Chinese region. Out of the top 6 teams, they are a solid position 6. Why is that?
Just overall, the play didn't look very refined. Like, they're all good players individually, but the team really never came together as a whole. Like, they're all very individualistic throughout the map. Like, he does his thing here, he does his thing there. Sometimes, if the draft is really good, they get away with it. Like, they took a game of IG with that, They had like a PL that was completely free. He stomped the game by himself. But when it's really about having to play together as a team, they're not convincing enough.
And also, I would like to exaggerate what he just said with this PL. Yeah, they had one PL that was completely uncountered, and he dominated the game because he was playing into some Morphling, and there weren't really many heroes there from IG that can counter him. However, they don't necessarily put their winning condition in Ajit when it comes to giving him the biggest win condition in the game. Very rarely. Why is that? I believe it might be due to his comfort zone in the current meta and the current patch, which does not draw many parallels with the heroes that other teams are picking and valuing as top tier picks.
Yeah, true. The PL and the Slark, the kind of Ajit's favorites, which, kind of they have to be the right game for it. Meanwhile, we've got XM in the mid lane, who's, he was number 1 in China for a long time, might still be. I'm not too sure exactly the leaderboards right now with all the tournaments going on, but, I think EHOME, for me, it feels like they have more trust in him than they do in Ajit. And that could be a problem sometimes, because you kind of need to have that flexibility between your 1 and 2 and trust them both to do the job when the time is required, and trust them both to be the win condition. But I don't know, I think they're a very hard team to pin down, and I think that's kind of highlights their issues, that they don't really have a play style as such which they fall back on. The other teams, we know they're aggressive, we know that they're playing for the late game, or we know that they're going to play for this certain timing, but we don't really see this with EHOME. Every single game seems to be a different idea on how to play the game for them.
You could even see with the last week's performance, they were playing, who again, was it Elephant or Vichy Gaming? One or the other, it doesn't matter, because they got a new coach, QQQ is there with them, and the drafts are looking so much better. Like the first draft with the IO that was flexed together with Weaver into Weaver being position 3 and IO being position 1 was so good. Still though, you don't feel like Ajit on the IO is performing like other players on the IO, right? And I'm not necessarily saying this only about him, about the team, like Black said, how they develop and how they execute that strategy in comparison to other teams. It just isn't as sound. It's like IO shouldn't be in the triangle farming off his items for 15 minutes, right? Like,
yeah. That being said, though, their draft is looking really strong. QQQ has always been, one of my favorite coaches. He's been my personal coach as well. And the guy is just insanely smart. We've seen it last week with the drafts. So if they eke out a win here, I think it's going to be definitely on the back of the drafts. And we've seen them. I think did they play IG last? Who did they play last? I don't even remember.
EHOME?
Yeah.
EHOME played Elephant last.
They played Elephant last?
Yep.
Like the games, they looked really good in the early game. Like the first 15 minutes, they were crushing it. And just, again, mid-game, when you have to start to come together as a unit, it doesn't look so crisp.
And look at that ban, by the way. PSG.LGD banning out the Luna in the first stage. IO I can definitely see because of that game of EHOME versus Elephant. But Luna being banned out.
Maybe they have some inside information here.
We've seen a couple of these. We've seen a couple of these because I believe QQQ in that match versus Elephant, he bans out Venomancer in the first stage.
Yeah.
So there are definitely things going behind the scenes in those drafting, in those screaming games that we aren't aware of. But yeah, interesting. Puck picked up by PSG.LGD into the Shadow Shaman instantly with the Oracle for Innocence and EHOME now. Shadow Shaman, and what would you like to see here?
Someone that can definitely jump the backline, because that's the only way to counter Oracle. But the thing is, a lot of backline jumpers have a hard time against Puck, so I quite like the Puck-Oracle combination. It kind of just seems like they're playing chess right now. Oh, they first pick Puck. Okay, Shaman counters Puck. Okay, Oracle counters Shaman.
Yeah.
Let's see.
What on Earth Spirit? Oh,
Night
they go with the
Stalker.
Night
Night
Okay.
Stalker.
Oh,
That's your backline
yeah.
jumper that's not countered by Puck. He even counters Puck to some extent because of the silence.
See,
So
that's why QQQ is a god. I didn't even think about Night Stalker.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I got you guys. Relax. I'll draft for you.
actually, Night Stalker is the one that's been drafted a couple of times in this week in the FDC League as well. Old 11 played him. And
Night Stalker's a
crushed it,
beast.
yeah.
Like, it's a really good hero.
Definitely one of the underrated ones. Like when
Yeah.
we have this conversation about underrated heroes, I think Tusk, Night Stalker, a couple of the two names which come out a lot.
Also against Puck, not just Oracle, but Puck hates playing against Night Stalker. Like, you actually need to
Yeah,
itemize
as
into a
mentioned.
BKB.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Pain in the butt. Now we've banned out the Void Spirit and the Undying. Meanwhile, EHOME, they're going to get rid of the Lycan and +1.
Yeah, Lycan is the hero that absolutely destroys Night Stalker in lane, in the game. There's not a single time in a game where Night Stalker is good against Lycan. Well, Bane, the bans make a lot of sense. Could potentially still be a good PL game for LGD. It owns both the Shaman and the Night Stalker. We'll have to see what route they want to go.
They're just very open right now. If you're looking at PSG.LGD, I would like to see some more damage, some more team fight coming from them. Mars is still in the pool, Phoenix is still in the pool, heroes that are available for them. When it comes for EHOME, they have a lot of things covered already. You have this push and catch with Shadow Shaman, Night Stalker as well with the catch and the disable.
Yeah, just need some damage now. Some really good burst damage that can follow up on the Night Stalker. Maybe even an additional backline jumper, like a Storm. We have seen it quite a bit. Void Spirit, Night Stalker is good.
Void Spirit banned out by PSG.LGD. Storm, pretty solid.
How many times do you think Alchemist has been banned this week?
Like every game, right? Picked or banned, pretty much.
Yep.
Picked up banned 11 times, picked twice, banned 9 times in this region. Like,
No one wants to play
No.
against that.
No.
It's-
everyone's worried. Like, have they been practicing it? I don't know.
And it
Do
just
you wanna play
started
into it?
recently.
Do we
Yeah.
know how to play into it? No, we don't. Ban it.
Started what, like pretty much?
Like a month ago or something.
Yeah.
In the European scene.
Yeah,
I still
2.5
don't
weeks
know
ago.
if it's as scary as people make it look like, you know? Like, it sounds very scary on paper, but it's very exploitable
It's
still.
exploitable.
Like,
yeah.
like you first pick an Alchemist, it should not have such a
Look,
good time.
it's exploitable, but it's one of those things like, are you ready? Are you ready to gamble?
Are you ready to
playing
exploit it?
Yeah, are you ready to exploit? Are you actually ready to gamble and play against that? Because you know it can just, his GPM and that agony skyrockets in a second if you leave it unchecked. And
The problem is really like one core hero basically farms on 2 different places, right? Like you have like this Monkey King, and this Alchemist is farming for the Monkey King.
Yeah.
Basically, it's just it is a pretty scary thought.
that whole that whole idea of feeding someone gold has been like throughout history, not only of Dota, but even in Warcraft 3. I remember there were games 2 versus 2 in which one, like 2 undeads, and one would literally just mine and send the gold and everything to the other, right? And
Usually
you-
the worst
it-
player
yeah,
would do that. Yeah.
Exactly. You could play with the worst player, just let him send you gold, and you would win 1 versus 2 because you would amass such a exactly, and that's pretty much the same approach, same idea translating here into Dota. Which
I mean, in
is
any esports, really, right? It's like
Yeah.
about like how greedy can you be and get away with it. Like there were times like 5 years ago, you would just start with a glove of haste and rush a Midas.
Imagine
no
you're someone's mum though, right? Like you're the mum of a player, right? And you're like, oh, I can't wait to watch my son play some Dota. You know, it's gonna be awesome seeing him on the big
Alchemist.
stage. And they just pick him Alchemist. Like, oh, I wonder what this hero does. And then he just sits there and just like hits
well,
creeps.
if
and then-
if you're mom,
and
you're
just like,
probably happy. Your son isn't killing anyone. He's just
Yeah.
chilling
True.
in the jungle, growing
Such a
his
nice
economy.
boy, giving
A
his
good
teammates
boy,
out-
exactly.
Agony.
Not killing players, just neutral creep. So nice of him.
killing the
EHOME,
innocents.
they're going with some big aggression right here with this Ursa followed up with the Night Stalker. It's looking.
So they're gonna
It's
last
alright.
pick. Nothing to say. XM's hero, sorry. And yeah, kind of what we said, right? Like Ajit is not the priority in the team. It's XM, and they're gonna pick him that winning condition last.
Does seem to be the case as the clockwork comes out from EHOME. A little more lockdown, a little more catch.
Wraith King.
A little less conversation, a little more action as Wraith King comes out for LGD.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense against the Ursa as well. One of the better core matchups. Night Stalker can't really pressure a Wraith King ever. And his Radiant's timing is really strong. Skeletons are hard to deal with as well. Only the Ursa can deal with it so far.
I'm actually surprised they didn't even think about the Monkey King on PSG.LGD. That was still in the pool for them.
Yeah,
but
I would have liked it too. It's just a little bit of a different approach, the more
I mean, with
drawn-out
Oracle,
fights.
with Oracle as well, right? Like, would you rather have Oracle Monkey King or Oracle Wraith King? Oracle covers his weaknesses a little bit better, and you get that extra oomph of damage earlier. But yeah, like Black said, Wraith King, a little bit of a different approach.
Yeah, just want to go for those long fights. And EHOME, what do they need for mid? So they do have quite a bit of damage now with the Ursa, but he will still have to farm quite a bit for it.
They're playing into a puck. Void Spirit is already banned out. Storm Spirit is still in the pool. All of these spirits, they are scary, but...
I feel like a Quartz Wax and Walker could be really good too for EHOME. A lot of mana-dependent heroes on LGD.
Yeah, I had this discussion with Lacoste as well.
Viper.
Wait
a
Now
minute.
Quartz Wax and Walker makes even more
okay,
sense.
okay. I was about to say Dragon Knight's still in the pool, but this makes the DK not so tempting.
I'm gonna say Broodmother here would crush this game super hard if they can play it. But it's a pretty risky pick. But if they can, Viper can't lane there, Puck can't lane there, Wraith King can't lane, nobody can.
I think we've seen so many games in the last couple of weeks in which Broodmother as a pick would completely crush.
But nobody's confident in playing it.
Nobody's
If there was
playing
Liquid
Brood.
right here, Koiko would be like, yeah, give me that.
Yeah, they have honor.
Give me that
China,
free
though,
one.
You know, they have honor. They won't do that.
Yeah, true.
not like Europe, where we're just
I'm
like,
not sure
take
we
the
should
dub.
say honor. It's just that the hero can backfire very easily as well.
It can. You need to be very confident on it. But yeah, like
Don't like
probably
you
Quartz
defending
Wax
these
and
brood
Walker
pickers.
makes the most sense. You beat Viper in lane. You're good against Wraith King.
What about some Death Prophet? That's still
Death
left,
Prophet is always
right?
good. Whoa!
Q. What a champion. Pulls it out and gives them the Brood. Great prediction there from Black. And yeah, great pickup from
Jit playing the Brood. There you go.
Ah,
Ajit
Jit
plays a really good Brood. It's one of his specialties.
Really? Okay, that's very interesting. But is it enough to swing the draft in your favor?
You know, now I have this problem. Like, I really love this Brood pick.
Commit.
I mean, I'm gonna go LGD.
You're
this
gonna
game.
go with the Brood, yeah.
Well,
It just looks too free. Like, it looks too free.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go with the Brood. I've been disappointed by Broodmother so many times, but I'll go with Broods as well.
All right, that's 2 for EHOME. EHOME are the ones who picked the Brood, right? Yes, they are. Yeah. So 2 for EHOME. I'll bounce the scales. I'll go for LGD. You know, just simply because I don't want Brood to win. I don't want Brood to win. Production.
Nope, no chance.
Nope, there we go.
You're going for the Brood.
There we go. Apparently, I'm not allowed.
You're not allowed.
You see, that's why QQQ.
No.
Now Lizard is LGD here.
Okay, leave me on LGD.
We don't need to look at that. Let's bring in our casters. We've got Beakup and Lacoste ready to jump into this one. Guys, what are those brains of yours thinking about this first draft?
I'm surprised, you know. I'm not surprised that the Black actually mentioned the Broodmother, because we were coming to the office, talking about the other game, and he said, you know, I have arachnophobia.
He was talking about that.
He was talking about, you know, he's scared of the spiders. Not sure, like, did he go against, or did you go with the Brood lineup?
I went with the Brood, yeah.
Okay, you went with the Brood lineup. So
Not
you're
so
like,
scared of
I want to
spiders.
be on the same team so that the spider
Doesn't
not
kill me.
attack me.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't haunt me in the night. I'll go with the anti-Brood. I'm not a big Brood fan. Like, until Brood came out, it seemed like heavily favored, but they managed to pull it out. I'm not a guy that's, you know, Broodmother expert anymore. Kind of having a bad read on the hero, so we'll have to see like what happens about leaning towards LGD.
All right, Beakup, time to break the tie. Who are you going for?
You know, was drinking some coffee, gave me some wise words, but I like the draft from LGD, so I'm going to stick with LGD. I don't really like spiders either, Black, so I'm hoping they squish the spider and we never see it again.
Fair enough, fair enough. 3 for LGD, 2 for EHOME. Beakup apparently being talked to by his coffee for some reason. I think you need to have a look at your coffee beans.
When you run out of so many ideas for predictions, it kind of gets
we
really
have a
bad
5-man
at this
smoke.
point.
We're going to send it across to you guys. Beakup and Lacoste, take it away for game number 1.
Thank you, Nomad, coming in. Game number 1. Oh, it's actually happening. For once, you guys aren't lying. Fortune's End comes in. 2 locked up. They'll go to the cogs, and, well, Urshak away. XM just surviving. Same with X Nova. But, yeah, coming
Fake
into this
hype,
one.
nothing happening.
It was... Yeah, you're right. A little fake hype coming out.
30 seconds.
I'm always a big fan of this Night Stalker, though, up against the Oracle. We see it as the counter almost exclusively, it feels like at this point. Jump the backline, stop that Oracle from saving any of his allies.
It's overall a great hero against Oracle, against like Tusk. Any saving potential is not gonna be there, even against Puck. Puck doesn't like to play into Night Stalker, so potentially could be a really good pick. They have a lot of heroes that can close the gap, just find the backlines. Problem is, Night Stalker does not get to play Dota when he's playing against Viper, especially early on. One
Right.
Viper strike and you're done. Like, you're not moving. Historically, that has been the counter to the Night Stalker. Also, playing at the Raid King doesn't feel too good for the Night Stalker, where like you have this Radiance timing on the Raid King, the miss chance. I personally try to play a lot of Night Stalker lately. Hero feels good. He's like decent in the lane, like has a lot of regen. Look at his regen, 5 during daytime, and he eats the tango straight away. Like, he has 5 armor, good strength game.
Clockwork. Just surviving. Sorry, fake hype. Go on.
Another fake hype. That's 2 out of the 2 so far. Yeah, especially with Shadow Shaman, I think they will put a lot of pressure. It's very hard to just zone out the Night Stalker even during the daytime. It might sound stupid, but he's like much stronger in the lane than people think.
Yeah, we'll see how the aggression works out for EHOME. Seeing the Shadow Shaman a lot. Like, I love seeing the Shadow Shaman
I don't
hit
think
so hard.
they are going to win this lane, you know, because they don't have the ways to deal with the skeletons later on. But once there's a first nighttime, like, they are going to start putting some pressure.
Is this a lane maybe that Fade can kind of rotate around on this Shadow Shaman and leave Chalice alone for a little bit? Maybe to get those levels, get quicker to that 6.
That depends. Like, Y is doing a very good job getting a like half pull, not just a full pull, so that's gonna be denied very quickly. Playing the lane really well. They got level 2 faster, which is a pretty big deal when you're playing like Radiant. You outpush the lane, pull the lane back. Pretty, I would call it standard stuff these days.
Right. So we'll see how this goes for Ame at the moment. He's doing well. All 3 cores, actually, on the side of LGD are doing well. Sitting towards the top, enjoying their time. 13-1 for the Viper in the top lane. Faith Beyond on this Turtle Viper cosmetic that exists.
Oh yeah, it's one of the ugliest ones. It's like half Dragonite, half Viper, and like half Venomancer.
Yeah. Really odd combo, but he's doing a good job so far, and, well, the same could be said for Nothing to Say. Faith Beyond now getting caught. Battery Assault, the damage coming in. Snowball for the save. That hits on the XM. They do get first blood on Faith Beyond. They're trying to turn this at least for a trade, but X-Nova's there with the body blocks, not allowing Jinkyu to do anything with that Tusk to get one in return. So Faith Beyond, he was CSing well, but goes down for first blood, and they still want to go for Jinkyu.
Oh, they're
Continued
chasing.
chase. He's got Snowball in a second. Not sure that would be enough, even if he did use it.
They could have killed him. Like, Ursa had 2 mangoes. If he popped the mango on a Clockwork, like, Battery Assault would slow him down, so that would be... But huge mistake there from Fate Beyond. Like, he had a lot of gold in the bank, did not invest anything. Usually we just see that urn of Shadows rush straight away. So he had like 700 gold in the bank, bought a Windlace after he died, something that could possibly save him, even like get into first blood. Didn't invest any of his gold. No stonks for him.
Didn't have those diamond hands ready to go.
To go back to the bottom lane, yeah, they're making an aggressive move on the Night Stalker, who has the boots and the bracer, a lot of regen. Man, Ame has the coolest looking Great King set for sure. Like, this axe is just insane. I don't know what that is, and I love the build on him. 1-1-1, getting that crit. Sometimes I see even, you know, Great King starting with a crit level 1.
Yeah. And just going to the 1-1-1, it's the Axe of the Vile Reliquary. I've never heard of that axe before. It's massive.
A lot of kill potential on the top, a bunch of slow, they're making a move.
Yeah, going in for X-Nova, just trying to get the damage out. The cogs keep them away. Not sure that's going to keep X-Nova alive, ticking down to 30 health. XM's back in the lane, and GQ goes to the tag team. He's broken in the Nether Toxin. They're going to bring a third up here. XM just TP'd back. He's going to take the walk of shame. They might even lose X-Nova if he's not too careful. Fade comes in. He might just die. These heroes are coming in one after the other.
He's dead. He's super dead. Like, the overtime damage is just going to take Urn of Shadows.
There's the kill. That's two, and Night Stalker, now that they left him alone bottom, he's dead. So EHOME just making ill-advised move after ill-advised move and losing heroes for it.
This is why you buy Urn of Shadows on Viper. I think 33 was the one who started this build from Current Tundra team. He just loves to play the hero. You don't allow enemy safe laners, especially melee ones, to actually play the game. Ursa died twice in a row. They rotated the Shadow Shaman, as you mentioned. PSG.LGD used that info, go aggressively, kill the Night Stalker before the first nighttime.
It's really putting LGD in a good spot. Is this going to make the game for Brood harder? Because Broodmother is trying to be active early, right? And try to force yourself down these lanes, get these towers quickly, but if your side lanes are dying and you have no real support, then how can you do it alone?
It's going to be tough. Broodmother needs to do heavy lifting in this game, but they have ways of deal with that. Nothing to say on Puck. Doesn't even have a point in phase shift, just wants to be able to nuke those spiders. Tower is full HP. I think his job is just to stay in the lane and not allow Broodmother to take the tier 1 tower on a mid lane, which could... Oh, they're making a move.
Dream Coil placed down, and they're going to turn this, looking for the Puck. But at least nothing going just yet. As they come around the back, they've got the Hex on a Jinkyu, but the immediate damage on a Fade. Shadow Shaman dropping Snowball across the cogs over to X-Nova. And with nothing to say, having the Illusory Orb going over too, he can jaunt there, be right next to the Clockwork. Ajit needs to be careful. And this is EHOME just movements going wrong constantly. Yeah,
it's already a 2k gold lead for PSG.LGD. They have 2 saving supports, but these supports are also making an aggressive moves. Puck, 3 null talismans just to have more mana regen to keep spamming the spells, more spell amp to be able to deal with the spiders. And now AHOME on the bottom, left alone. Going for the standard build. These days, phase boots into casual gloves. Now he TPs to the top lane. They want to be able to take this tower. They don't have the catapult, but 4 Scaly Bros should be enough to take it.
Yeah, so they're going to come up top, do what you said, and maybe even move for more, making
nice read.
Game.
Look at EHOME. They smoke to the bottom. They understand, we need to play with the Night Stalker. We have catapult coming in, so great read from AHOME.
Yeah. And this is going to give them a tower, easily, for free.
Sure, it's just going to be a trade. Foil on the mid lane.
Yeah, once again, they're going after Ajit. They've got the Snowball to follow it up. Dream Coil, Snowball, all out on Ajit. Shards just not quite there. They do force them away from that mid-tier 1. It was almost a fight that could have gone really well for LGD. Their movements around the map have been basically perfect up to this point. And I worry for EHOME already down this much.
PSG.LGD, great understanding how many heroes they need to bring to a fight. They leave AHOME on the top. They know he can kill the tower alone with the skeletons, rotate 1 support just by walking. Viper TPs to the mid lane. They don't get anything out of that, but they might get a kill here.
Yeah, getting caught behind the tier 1 tower. They get the kill there. Faith Beyond and Nothing to Say will both lose their courier with some items on it, which feels pretty bad, but they'll get some revenge in the tier 1 tower mid, and that's squeezing this map as Ajit now, as we can already see, is farming on the opposite side of the river, forced into a spot like this.
The problem for Broodmother is she lost a tier 1 tower on the mid. Usually, you want to be the one, is that Hand of Midas on a Brood? I believe it is. Yes, Hand of Midas. Not sure if I like it. I'm not a Brood expert, as I already mentioned, but from what I've seen, you want to be able to put the pressure early. You do not want to play the late game with this hero. It's still a decent hero, but you want to be creating space for your own team. Hand of Midas does not allow you to do that.
Is there a different build, different than what we naturally see on Ajit or, well, on a Broodmother that might help him out. Hold on. They've got the kill onto Fate. Shard, Snowball all coming through, and Fortune's End onto the Night Stalker, just too far away from Jinkyu as well. There's nothing to say. Meaning, like, you know, with the addition of this Shard or with the changes that have been made, is there a different build that might allow Broodmother to use this Midas and be a little bit more possible as a late game hero?
I have to get Koikwa on the phone, you know, just ask him what
Pass
he
him on.
thinks. Just, you know, what do you think about the Hand of Midas into Aghanim Scepter? Is it viable? This is the greediest itemization from EHOME I've seen, not just from EHOME, but pretty much from any team besides maybe the Alchemist offlane going for the Battle Fury. Because Broodmother with the Hand of Midas, Night Stalker going Hand of Midas, Battle Fury Ursa, like, you don't get to play the game. Like, you're just gonna be hitting the creeps. But let's see if it might pay off, like what PSG.LGD is looking for. That Radiance timing on the Raid King to go together. Puck right now having a really good time, 112 CS, even more CS than a Broodmother. A lot of those CS coming out from the Spiders, of course, and almost 1,000 gold ahead in net worth.
Yeah, so Ame's going to get his Midas delivered in just a second. We see that it was a 3K lead for LGD just a moment ago, and it's actually dwindled down into a 1K lead. They might find X-Nova again, but if you're EHOME, I think you're okay with this, especially with Ursa, as well as the Brood continuing to farm. And this is continual kills for LGD as a pack, as 4.
Now, it's not just that, you know, you have 2 Hand of Midas, you have 1 Battle Fury. Once you get that Battle Fury, you're still not ready to fight. You want to have a BKB to be able, you know, to just sustain, because you have no saving abilities on your teammates. And also, you can't fight during the daytime.
Yeah. That sun's just too strong. Needed to be night. Snowball across, XM in trouble. Wraithfire Blast with the Walrus Punch coming in for Jinkyu. He'll try to get away, pops that ulti. Dream Coil onto both him as well as X-Nova. And they'll both get caught here. Silenced by the Waning Rift. XM gone. They don't even dive for X-Nova with the glyph used on the tower. Instead, they'll wait for the glyph and
a lot
go for
of
the
time
tier
to
2.
build that Battle Fury. They will pressure the tower. Let's see if someone decides to rotate. Maybe what they do is just pressure the mid lane. There it is, Shadow Shaman. Drop the wards with the Spiders. That's a lot of damage, but
Yeah, we'll get it just trickle down real quick.
yeah, I don't think you can defend the tier 1 tower in the mid. You don't have the heroes. Viper going into Herald of Atos. Pretty standard build, just to be able to, you know, lock people inside the Nether Toxin. Night Stalker, who's very mobile. Broodmother, they don't have like the best catch besides Puck once he gets the Blink Dagger, but it's not going for the Blink Dagger straight away. Getting that Witchblade first.
Is Gleipnir for Faith Beyond a poor call if you were to go from Rod of Atos into the Gleipnir? Because I know that
it's a
item felt like
possibility.
bait
Yeah,
before.
I don't mind. Maybe like a BKB first. Depends. Rod of Atos, definitely for sure. Might need a BKB to be able to deal with the silence coming out from the Night Stalker.
Right.
And then like Gleipnir is fine. Have that AoE against the Spiders possibly. Clear them out. AoE lockdown.
So EHOME kind of working with their time right now to use these Midases and will hope to get to that Battle Fury for XM. He's 1-3-1, so that has been slowed down significantly. Ajit, though, he's used this Midas. He's one component away from getting that Axe. You've got the Midas onto the Night Stalker. He's picked up the Ogre Axe and going into a BKB. If they're given enough time to get these items, we could see a little bit more of a competitive fight from EHOME, as it is 9-2.
They just need time.
Yeah.
Like, EHOME is not
Snowball.
playing right now. They're
Wells the Walrus Punch on the Chalice, but fake hype again, I'm sorry. Cutting off your points.
EHOME killing creeps pretty much. Trying to get back into the game. Maybe this is not a fake hype this time. And it is.
At least it wasn't me that time. Tusk going for Falcon Blade. Yeah, we've really seen this
Falcon
item
Blade,
be
like,
popular
is
in this
the
region.
item. Not just in this region, but in this patch, I think. Everyone wants to have that extra HP. Bit of a mana region, some damage. Like a lot of heroes benefit from that.
Saw that build yesterday on the Invoker. Witchblade, Falcon Blade. The double blades coming in.
Blaze of Alacrity.
There needs to be a blade build, Ice Frog. Just combining all the blades.
Blades of the attack. And then you end up with a Wraith King looking axe. He's getting closer to his relic. Once again, they're putting the pressure on tier 2 tower. They want to kill it. They understand that EHOME does not want to take fights right now. They already used Dark Ascension. Nighttime will be up there in 30 seconds. So they can take the outpost. Y already there, doing the job.
Yeah, and he's looking for a Blink Dagger, and he understands that his positioning is crucial, especially with the Night Stalker on the other team. He needs to stay back, needs to be able to find the proper positioning. Dream Coil used onto X Nova. He'll be chased, but hook shots away over to Fade, giving him the assist.
Oh, almost killed him. That overtime damage coming out from the Witchblade.
Which blade is that?
Falcon Blade.
Okay. Thank you.
So Ursa finishes the Battle Fury, Power Treads, going into BKB, Blink, pretty standard stuff. But yeah, he definitely needs a BKB to be able to fight. They have still a couple of abilities that go through Magic Immunity, Viper Strike, you have Tusk's Walrus Punch. So it's going to be quite hard for Ursa. A lot of kiting potential coming out from these two abilities.
Yeah, not the easiest Ursa game. Even with that BKB. They've got themselves a look over onto the Ursa, and the Snowball comes across with a Walrus Punch. XM, he's stuck here and in trouble trying to TP away. They do end up getting the kill into Jin-Q, but they will lose XM, and it looks like Fade will follow. And 2-for-1 trade for LGD. They'll farm up some Serpent Wards, get a little bit more gold out of this, and another good movement trade from LGD.
Ursa just too aggressive there. Maybe if they got a like 2-for-2 trade, kill the puck. But yeah, they didn't do it. Shadow Shaman, one of the best heroes right now against all the spirits, against the puck. Why we see him so often. Also, they don't have a hero that can like protect the Shadow Shaman. They don't have the better team fight. They have no saves for him. Chalice on the top. Coil. Yeah, looks like a dead Night Stalker to me.
Should be with the Walrus Punch coming in, and Jin-Q getting the kill. X Nova trying to TP out and is successful in doing so, but they lose Chalice again, and this has been really smooth from LGD all over the map so far.
EHOME just, you know, killing the creeps, trying to get back into the game. Ajit finishing Aghanim Scepter, going into Hood. Next item, very interesting.
A full pipe being built by him.
Not just a Hood. I'm okay with that. I also remember, like, I mentioned 33 because he's very innovative as a player. He was pretty much the first one who did that kind of a thing, I believe. But you need to be the one putting the pressure, you know. You build that pipe and you want to end the game.
Right.
Your spiders are almost magic immune. You have this barrier of magic shield. And then it's much easier for you to go for the high ground push. I'm not sure that's the build here. Like, you want to be able to scale. You still don't have like a BKB. You don't have a single damage item. No Diffusal Blade. No Orchid on the Brood Mother.
Yeah, so used to seeing that Diffusal Orchid kind of build from these broods, but X Nova dead again, nothing to say. As he continues to move around the map without a death, 3-0-6. But inside the Roche pit, Ame just trying to get himself maybe an Aegis, and they know about it. The Spiderling spotted him. I'm not sure they're going to be able to go in, and it doesn't look like they're making a way over there either.
It's not the fastest Roche. Like, tag team is going to help out. But EHOME just doesn't want to fight. And now you're going to have to deal. Like, you definitely give Aegis. I mean, Ame's going to pick it up. So how do you get through Wraith King 3 times?
Yeah. That is not the easiest thing to do, especially with a brood that doesn't have that diffusal, doesn't have a way to stop that reincarnation from going off. Like, this is going to be a tough fight if LGD do in fact choose to fight.
So pipe down on the Broodmother. Let's see if they decide to take a fight. They also have this timing. Night Stalker will have his BKB in the next minute. Ursa still needs a recipe.
Dire are
Yeah,
scanning.
he's about
We're gonna see the
1,300 gold
same
away.
thing again, like XM and Fade trying to make the move on the bottom lane. Same scenario, it's just that Puck is not there, but could possibly TP. TP is ready.
Could just move over, get a couple of kills again, and it feels really bad for the Ursa, who's desperately trying to get into the BKB. Would love to pick up that Blink Dagger as well, close the gap, have that magic immunity, and I'm wondering what Ajit wants to go for now that he's got
Maybe a kill,
pipe.
because he's 0-0 and 0.
Yeah, 253 last hits, 0-0-0, very active.
In terms of CSing, killing the neutrals. Hand of Midas available.
Massive Titus. There it is. Bottom lane, though, they're going to go and try and make a move on XM once again. They've got that Viper Strike. He's slowed down, and it doesn't look like he's getting away with the Fortune's End, rooting him up. Purifying Flames coming in from Innocence is the finishing blow onto XM. He just cannot have enough space as LGD continue to hunt him down. They've also got the Dream Coil onto Fade, who will shackle this puck. Serpent Ward's committed. Here comes Child's hookshot in. They'll look to finish off Innocence. They at least get the Oracle. They've got the silence out of the Viper with Broodmother
Spiders
finally
with
making
the
the way
pipe.
over. And Faith Beyond, he's getting low, but there's the Snowball trying to save him as long as possible. It looks as though the rest of LGD might back away as well. But Ame, he's in here, nothing to say. They re-engage, so Faith Beyond ends up dead. They've got the silence as well as the Walrus Punch onto the Broodmother. Ajit dies as LGD take their chances and are successful in killing off the Brood.
Now, once Ame joins the fight is just completely over. They know they can't kill Raid King, and he deals so much overtime damage. It was a funny-looking green ball of spiders going around with the pipe effect on. Doesn't, you know, it looks scary, but it's not as strong as it looks.
Yeah, and it ends up
Dire's
kind of falling flat. They got Faith Beyond. That's, you know, and the kill onto the Oracle, which is fine, but it felt like at this point, with how much farming you're doing on the Broodmother, that you needed a much bigger victory than that.
Dire's bottom
Now they
tower
have
has
2
fallen.
Force Staffs, 1 on Oracle. Also, Viper decided to get 1. So this is how you deal with, like, kiting against Ursa. They focus someone down. They also have 2 saving abilities. They need to be able to survive, like, through initial engagement from the EHOME during the, like, silence from the Night Stalker hook shot. So, like, these 2 Force Staffs are going to help quite a lot. I like that item build on both of these.
Yeah, the Blink not exactly something that's going to be reliable for the Oracle as much as the Force Staff here. Meanwhile, Jinkyu, he's going for the Blink Dagger. He's got that Falcon Blade with the Orb of Corrosion. So he's looking to get in there, maybe Blink, Walrus Punch, Snowball Shards, get that combo off, make sure that they can control these heroes continuously. Skeletons against Spiders. So far, the Skeletons are winning. It's an AC next for the Wraith King. He's already got that Hyperstone.
Just a casual Sanj, something that we see often to have some status resist, the extra
Radiant's top tower
self
is
HP
under
region and
attack.
lifesteal, also a bit of HP on top of that. Like EHOME, they're not making any aggressive moves. They try to make one on the bottom, it backfired. They just smoke. So let's see what they want to do. Aegis timer will be gone in 30 seconds.
Dire's
So
middle
they still
tower
don't want to
is under
focus
attack.
Ame.
Brood kind of
Dire's middle
showing and
tower has fallen.
making the presence felt. But there go the Spiderlings, and a lot of gold going to nothing to say. They're going to use that Dark Ascension, maybe come around the back. They've got themselves the Hex onto the Oracle as well as the Silence. They'll get the Cone of Innocence, and now they look over at Faith Beyond, but the Dream Coil is going to be placed onto 2 of these heroes. It's with the Axe that was picked up recently by Nothing to Say. They've got themselves the Shackle. They get the Cone of Faith Beyond. They end up losing Fate, so Jinkyu able to back away from this. But Ame loses that first life. So now,
Aegis is gone
Aegis
in 2
is about to
seconds.
expire. The hookshot comes in
Oh,
on both
good
the puck
hook
as
shot.
well as the Wraith King. The Wraith King tries to turn this on to XM. They've got the Walrus Punch hitting onto the Broodmother, and now XM, can he survive? He's getting low and starting to back away from this fight. They got the kill on Ame for the second time. They have the Snowball as well as the Shards, but it's not enough to get the kill on XM, and 4 heroes are gone here on LGD, and all they lose is the Shadow Shaman. That goes really well for EHOME.
EHOME did a very good job just understanding who they need to kill out. First, this is why like Night Stalker loves to play into Oracle. They jump him, kill him instantly, then they deal with the Tusk and Viper, leave Puck and Raid King for the last. like Puck and Raking, they need to be in first. Like they need to be the one initiating, because if they're not, then like your two supports are just gonna feel very dead.
Yeah. And this is, oh god, that hook shot from X-Nova.
Oh,
Feels
that's beautiful.
Feels like the first opportunity he's had to be aggressive. And he makes it work real well. Just even with the advantage that LGD have in terms of net worth, it felt very one-sided in that fight, but that was because of the execution coming in from EHOME, which is one of the things that they've struggled with a lot throughout the season. You know, even going from Yao to QQQ, it's a big difference in coaches. You can see the difference in drafts. It's now just about how EHOME execute this and how they can make it work, because even in the last series, they had these great drafts, but they weren't finishing.
Yeah, that's the problem with the EHOME pretty much. Like, I don't think there was nothing necessarily wrong with their draft. It was just about that execution. And yeah, like even though they were 5-6K gold behind, they're still taking that fight. Ajit going into Hex next item. First he had like the Fusel Blade BKB. This is an earlier timing, so you have to start thinking about something more late game oriented. With Shaman and another Hex, they will be able to control the Puck. Not just Puck, but one extra hero. Night Stalker deals like a ton of damage, provides a lot of control, especially during the Dark Ascension. Like you get the bonus 100 damage. Night Stalker getting
Found
caught.
Chalice. They had the Rod of Atos to have the break and the Viper Strike thrown onto Chalice, trying to chase him with the Waning Rift, and now the damage in with the rest of LGD here. An easy kill on the Chalice, who is trying to build into that Nullifier. He's a long ways away from it. And,
Standard build. You want to be able to deal with the supports, extra slow, nullify any kind of
Coil now
force
used on
staff.
XM. Pops that in rage early, snaps the coil, trying to run. Earthshock getting some distance. Nothing to say, might stay with him with the Illusory Orb, and that's exactly what he does. But here's the Hex coming in from Fade. They've got themselves the Shackle. False Promise. And with the phase shift, Puck trying to survive, but they already got the kill on Innocence. They'll look over at Ame. This might be a terrible fight for LGD, because they are going to pop the first fight from Ame. They do not have Dream Coil to work with. They'll bring in some reinforcements and try to make this work with the break coming out on XM. XM doesn't have that enraged for a second, and he will end up dead. So LGD, they get the kill onto the Earth, so they'll take out Clockwork. They had finished off Fade prior, and this is a good fight for LGD. Almost a well-laid trap for EHOME.
I was surprised EHOME decided to take that fight without a Night Stalker. Like, Night Stalker is the guy that you need to be alive to control the Oracle. Like, you've seen Oracle using a Force Staff to be able to close the gap, get that ulti on the Puck. And Ame, like, it takes quite a while to kill this hero. He has AC on, he has some status resistance, so like those silences and stun are not gonna last as long. Also, he got level 20, so will be a bit more speedy.
Man, such a good move there by Innocence, knowing how long he had to get there. Four staffs himself just in a range. False Promise immediately into the phase shift, getting away and keeping nothing to say alive. It's a very close skirmish there that could have put EHOME probably about even in this game. So
LGD, they need to be able to take care of each other, save the supports. One of the reasons why Tusk is going BKB as his third item, if we count in a Falcon Blade as one item. Not sure if we do. Like, it's like half, 3/4 of an item. Not like a real item. But yeah, once he gets that BKB, we'll be able to just blink in and snowball people. Like, something he struggles with is AoE silence coming up from the Night Stalker.
Right.
Usually like any root mechanics, so he can't just like a bit of malice is one of his worst enemies, because you want to be able to like blink in and snowball, but with the root mechanics you cannot use the snowball. Kind of hard one for Tusk. So BKB, natural choice.
remembering the days of Tusk being able to snowball anytime, save anybody. X-Nova breaking the smoke. Rod of Atos comes in, but they've got the Walrus Punch as well as the snowball coming through on Ajit. He's been caught by himself. Big comes in with the Serpent Ward, trying to keep this Broodmother alive, who stays alive for just a moment. They will try to turn this one around with the hook shot. They get the Kona Innocence. The Junko has been placed on both XM as well as Chalice. They continue to turn. They've got the buyback coming in from the Oracle, but they end up losing XM. And now Ame trying to survive. Snowballs there. That'll bring it over to X-Nova, surviving the onslaught from Chalice. And Ame, he's got a double kill. They also take out Fade, and Nothing to Say is wicked sick as he is 7-0-12.
Jinkyu still chasing, has that punch ready, gets hexed.
Faith Beyond, he's also here. Ooh, 4-step. Oh, what a move. Coming in from Faith Beyond to stop that TP. Now Ajit has to get out of dodge, but it's not as easy anymore. And it doesn't look like he's getting out anywhere. As Faith Beyond will get the kill, and rightfully so, because he's the one who made it happen.
EHOME needs to go in and kill that Oracle instantly, probably with like a hook shot, not allow him to use any Force Staff, Ghost Scepter. He didn't get any spells off in a fight because, once again, it's very hard to play into Night Stalker. That silence feels like lasts forever. But they got the Force Staffs, they got the Ghost Scepter, so a lot of time wasted. Ursa, BKBs, uses the Enrage. They couldn't even get to one life of Ame. Now, with the Basher online, has another way of lockdown to deal with the BKBs.
They're just going to lose a set of racks. All of a sudden, it goes from 5 to 8 to 13K ahead. And this is just a massive lead here for LGD. It was feeling close before, but that last exchange, even with a lot of things going right for EHOME, didn't feel close.
Yeah, that one fight looked really good when they jumped them. They killed the Oracle, they killed Tusk first, looked good. This is exactly what they need to do, but it's getting harder and harder. Second Roche, once again, belongs to PSG.LGD. Rocket will scout things out. Let's see if Clockwork wants to go in. Hook shot.
Shot goes all the way through the Aegis, is still picked up by Ame. Had to go for it. And
Oh, for sure. Like if you steal Cheese or Aegis, it's still worth it.
Yeah. And he's only dead for 45 seconds. So, giving up your life, maybe you could be a difference maker in taking the Aegis Cheese away. Maybe if he was a split second earlier, has the opportunity.
Yeah, you would definitely gotten that one.
It was close.
Last hit, Cheese, Aegis, and possibly a kill on one of those 4 heroes inside a bit.
Clockwork to save the day. That's the dream scenario right there if you're ever playing Clockwork.
You need to wake up because it is a dream scenario for a reason. Wake up.
I've seen it happen.
Yeah, no, it
All
happens.
thievery.
Yeah. It does.
Swipe it all up. Go down towards bottom and try to take the tier 3. They were able to take the mid tier 3 and set of racks very easily. So EHOME will try to defend this. They've used a smoke. Smoke on a 3 heroes going for the long wraparound, but nothing to say. He breaks it, and well, now LGD, they've got the information that they need. Ame immediately going into the XM. They get the kill into the Ursa. He's going to buy back immediately with the Viper Strike coming through on a Chalice. They're chasing Fade as well as Chalice, who pops the BKB, but they get the kill on a Fade, taking out 2. He does not have buyback. Dream Coil used on XM, who just bought back. Right clicks coming in. There are the bashes. X-Nova trying to save his bear, and will do so. He just gets up to the high ground. However, doesn't mean this engagement is over. LGD, they're still pressuring the bottom lane.
They try to make a move on a Puck who has a Lincoln Sphere. Brood uses Hex instead of a nuke it to remove the Lincoln Sphere. Just a bad move overall. Now you lost the second set of barracks. They're just going to go in and probably end the game because I feel like EHOME does not have the tools nor the damage at this point to deal with the PSG.LGD.
And down 22,000, this is a rough one. They're going to glyph. They're going to try and hold on as best they can. They've got everybody up for one last fight. Maybe they can take something and come out ahead. But that's not exactly the easiest of tasks ahead. They'll move forward. They've got the break on the Chalice. Viper Strike is used, so now he's hit with the Walrus Punch and immediately just dispatched from the fight. They're going to bring the Broodmother in, who's hit with the Abyssal Blade. Down goes Ajit. He's got no buyback, and GG will be called. LGD take game 1 in a simple one that looked okay for EHOME at the beginning, but fell apart soon after. LGD doing a great job, and you know, maybe the record doesn't exactly show how good of a team LGD are at the moment.
Yeah, a bit confused by the item build
from
EHOME in this one. You know, 2 Hand of Midas. You have Night Stalker who can only fight during the nighttime. Ursa going for the Battle Fury, very greedy. I would just, you know, love to see what my boy Black has to say about itemization in this game.
And we can hear what he says as we throw it over to the panel and get a quick glimpse into the mind of Black and a Broodmother play. Back over to you guys. Take it away.
Thank you very much, B-Cup and Lacoste. Yes, game one, which was interesting, I would say. Guys, I mean, how many farming items is too many farming items?
Don't know. How many?
3?
I feel like even one of those Midases was already way too much. Like, we see every Broodmother ever go, you just like, go Soul Ring into Orchid. This Puck can't play Dota anymore, but he went Soul Ring into Midas, into Aghanim Scepter, and then the Night Stalker went Midas.
Don't forget the pipe.
Oh, the pipe after as well, yes, of course. And then Battle Fury Ursa, like, they never fought this game. Like, the
Well,
middle...
how could they?
Yeah, because of the items. Like, I'm so disappointed, actually. This draft is super strong, early mid-game. You get these fast-paced items up on your heroes. You're supposed to make space for your Ursa, not for your Night Stalker, not for your Broodmother. I don't know what went wrong there.
Yeah, what went wrong was the laning stage first and foremost. Their top lane crumbled. Like they brought even the Shadow Shaman there, and like it just all fell apart. It was just so difficult to watch when you see one after another TPing in and dying. Ursa dies first time.
Viper,
Yeah, to that Viper. Then he goes back in, dies again. And because of Shadow Shaman going top, Night Stalker is alone bottom, he dies too. And then they all collectively just decide, okay guys, we can't play Dota anymore. Let's just buy farming items and that's it. Let's go for some Midases, let's go for some Aghanims on Broodmother after the Midas. I mean, you must have seen this build. It's not a new build. It's been done by Broodmothers in the past as well, but you know that you're AFK if you do it.
Yeah. The reason why we don't see it anymore is exactly that. Yeah. You're AFK. Like this Puck, what does he hate most? Like this minute 10 Orchid, right? You have no Storm, anything, Puck just feeds. But instead you just gave him a free game, basically. Yeah,
So
I'm pretty disappointed in EHOME.
What could the team communication have been with in EHOME? Because
I don't know.
do you think there wasn't any, or do you think they were like, all right, let's get 2 Midases in the Battle Fury?
2 Midas, Battle Fury,
And
Aghanim Scepter.
I feel like someone told them, guys, go late, it's all fine. And that's it.
Must have been.
But it's very difficult to describe this in any other way.
This lineup does not beat Rage King late game. It's pretty obvious they don't. Like, he has so much backup and, yeah, I mean, just backfired completely. Just overall, I thought the draft was actually really good. They had a lot of chances, but the way they itemized, no way. Like, no team with those items can fight. Whether it's EHOME or Secret, doesn't matter. If you itemize like this, you're not playing to win.
Harsh words, but I mean, totally reasonable as well. I mean, as we saw this game, it's even hard to say, okay, yeah, LGD, they did play well, obviously.
They did
fought
well.
Yeah. They hit their timings, and they went with those timings, but it was very kind of, I don't know, I felt like watching it, we were kind of going through the motions, because, like, what was going to stop them doing what they wanted to do? Like, I feel like that was what it ultimately came down to. And there was nothing. There were no roadblocks. There were no obstacles for them. They were just like, all right, you know, I think there was one team fight which they dropped at mid around the 15-minute mark or so, which is kind of like, okay, EHOME, maybe they get away with this. Maybe they're going to put the fear into LGD. But, I mean, it's LGD. They're not going to lose one team fight and be like, oh, well, I guess we're going to have to farm for the next 10 minutes. Like, no, they just get up, they go again. They realize that, you know, they are the stronger team. They know where they messed up and immediately remedy that and then go in the next fight and they take out the key heroes. I mean, the Shaman, basically. You kill the Shaman and all of a sudden it's very difficult for them to do anything. So that's going to be game one in the books. But actually, before we do get into that, you know, so what else did LGD do well other than hitting their timings?
I mean, the lanes went super well. Puck owned Broodmother, which is pretty rare. Top lane got completely demolished. And even bot lane, they won all 3 lanes, basically. And it's just the individual play of LGD. Like, they're amazing players. We already knew it.
Yep.
Yeah, this game really showed why.
Yeah, just still very sad. Broodmother once again disappoints me, but this time
Not only you.
But this time it wasn't necessarily just the hero. It was the way the hero was played and the items that were purchased on her.
And our MVP for this game, number 1, is going to be our Spider Squashing Supreme. Nothing to say on the puck. You know, as we said, enabled by the enemy's item build, you know, not really doing anything to counter the puck, but at the same time, you can't doubt this man when he plays this perk. He just kind of puts so much tempo into the game, constantly running at the enemy team and finding the kills, finding a cheeky solo kill here and there, and just generally being a pain in the ass.
We have 3 Malaysians, right? We have Nothing to Say, we have X-Nova and Ashit. So he knows X-Nova and that shit very well. And he understands this Broodmother. He knew exactly what he needed to do against it, which is nothing really, just chill and farm because the Broodmother is also farming and not doing anything.
They seem to be very confident in how to play into it, that's for sure. And there was no doubt on the side of LGD. Meanwhile, EHOME, I'm not sure. I mean, What would you like to have seen this Night Stalker, for example, do instead? You know, say he doesn't go for the Midas. What else could he have built to
I
be
think you
more
just
effective?
build Blink BKB, or BKB Blink rather. You just go in the backline, kill the Oracle, because at that time he won't have Force Staff or Ghost Scepter. He's just a free kill. They have no way to help him. And then from there, Broodmother can take over if he itemizes a little bit better into catching items, you know, like Diffuser Blade first or Orchid. Either way, and they can just put so much pressure on that lineup, but they just chose to be passive. Against the lineup, they lose to in late game. We saw what happened. Wraith King came online, and it was GG.
It was indeed a GG. Well, we will write off game number 1 as a mistake. We will put it into the past and focus on game number 2. But before that, we're going to have ourselves a little bit of a break. But after which, we shall be back with the second game of the series. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you very soon. hello, and welcome back to the Dota Pro Circuit, where we're here with the Chinese region, brought to you by Perfect World. And by the way, we're available in 4K if you guys want, so you can view our lovely faces in ultra high definition, or of course, if you're more sane, the Dota in high definition looks very nice as well. And we are straight into the draft of game number 2, which means we don't need to talk about game number 1. We can put that behind us. Don't go back and watch it. Delete the VODs. It's not. Away.
Yeah,
to
delete
the
the tapes.
Yeah.
I actually
Nothing
saw
happened.
EHOME running around their booth, and that QQQ was very angry. He made them jog for a little while,
Chasing them with his belt.
that was the punishment. So we'll see if you can see they're huffing and puffing, and this is the second draft. You're already 4 picks in, man.
The QQQ is like, let's go.
I mean, he's having a great. He's like, hey, my draft looked great. You know, it's.
And he's like, I won that draft. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys won.
He's not
Like,
really.
maybe we lost the game, but I won
So
the
far,
war.
all of his drafts looked pretty solid. From
I mean, that's
from
always
the
a
moment he
specialty.
came, yeah.
Like, for me, he is and always has been the best coach there is. Of course, people can dispute it, you know. But
that's-
I've worked with him for like a year, so I'm very biased, of course. But he was the guy that got me out of the trenches. Yeah.
Dug you out.
Yeah. He was
Okay.
like, "Oh, Black, you're looking pretty rough down there. Can I
How
help
many
you?"
levels of trenches are there then, though?
I was in the deepest level of trenches. I was like level 5 trench.
I see.
Yeah,
Level 5 trench.
level 5 trench. It was rough.
I see.
That guy's a legend.
Well, hopefully they can get EHOME out of this trench, which they have got themselves in this series. And we're starting things off with a Shadow Shaman and a Mars as the draft opening. Meanwhile, PSG.LGD, they go in with the Puck and the Lycan.
The Lycan into the Mars. A little bit
Yeah,
brave, but,
already looks solid for EHOME, right?
but
Shadow-
Lycan does destroy Shadow Shaman.
Yeah.
Like in any phase of the game, really. And they picked Puck into the Shadow Shaman, basically telling EHOME, yeah, we don't really care about that counter.
Yep.
This time, they don't have the Oracle to save, though. So it's going to be a little bit harder for the Puck to play.
You have Mars on the side of Shadow Shaman to boink all the creeps away, all the summons from the Lycan. Also, you can use that
Grimstroke.
arena. Okay, there
I
we
mean,
go.
I love Grimstroke as a hero. It's just they don't have any combo with it right now. I guess the double purge from the Necro.
Just
pretty good.
Inkswell on any of the units that are sent your way is nice, but besides that, yeah, I agree completely. But we have seen more and more Grimstrokes being picked in the Chinese region.
I'm
Yeah.
going to give you a knowledge nugget.
Ooh.
If you have
man.
Illusionist Cape on Lycan,
I know, you bite it, you...
Yeah. that is so sick. I've seen it yesterday for the first time.
No,
And everything is fast.
Didn't I tell you that a week or so ago?
A long time ago, actually,
yeah.
yeah,
He
when
did
we were
that?
first seeing Lycan, yeah.
I just saw it
unfortunately.
yesterday. All the creeps and the hero were 650.
Yeah,
Yep.
we already knew, I'm afraid, but
Oh,
you know,
he
that's
is-
why you don't try and step into my boundaries. No, Nomad's Nuggets remain as Nomad's Nuggets. You have to come up with your own thing. Black biscuits,
Sorry.
maybe.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's a pretty stupid thing, though.
It should not act
because
like that,
You,
yeah.
you refresh your ulti pretty much with a cooldown that's slower even. So
Yeah.
it's-
So,
Give us
Dota
another
2.
Black biscuit, though. Give us another piece of it. What about Grimstroke? Do you know anything cool about Grimstroke?
yeah, Grimstroke and Aghanim's Lion Finger. This is my personal special.
Mhm.
I
Oh,
did
I've
it
seen that
yesterday with
clip.
Lacoste. I got like about 15 charges from it.
Damn.
50 finger stacks was really nice.
How much damage is that?
I had plus 1500 damage on the finger.
Wow. okay.
It was
that's,
good.
that's fun to double up.
Yeah.
Yeah. PSG.LGD right now, just keeping it very simple. This clockwork with the Grimstroke. Now you have a
Good combo as well.
and a good combo, but nothing really that great with Grim. No Roar, no Doom, no Lich ulti. None of these historically big ultis.
Power
with
spells,
Yeah,
yeah.
but we don't really see them with the Grimstroke recently at all.
What if they change Grimstroke's shard to make it so that you can use bind on friendlies and share the buffs, and then you could turn 2 people into wolves? Yeah?
It's interesting. Let's put it that way. I don't like the terribly that much into Grim and Puck.
thought it was a
Straight
good
off the
idea.
bat.
And into
because-
Lycan as well.
Yeah. There's just so much magic damage from distance. that
However,
it
after you
doesn't-
get your BKB, you're going to crush this game.
Yeah.
Like, you get your whatever Saint Joshua BKB, you're going to be the king of this game. For
you
now,
just have
at
to
least.
get there, right?
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah,
have
that's
to-
the
Which
problem.
the laning phase looks, honestly, unless this Lycan is carry against the Mars, which is not good for them, the laning phase looks quite good, because TB does free farm against Lycan.
Yeah, that's true.
And I don't want to see a carry Lycan against Mars Shadow Shaman. That sounds like a horrible lane for Lycan.
They
Can't see that working
Yeah, they
well.
ban out the Kunkka as well. What could they do? They they're very flexible with their cores so far. If you consider Puck and Lycan the cores of PSG.LGD, they can pretty much put them anywhere. So
They could. Yeah.
Just
They
want to
can
point out, by the way, that LGD haven't used a single second of reserve time yet. They are speed drafting.
Yeah. So 8 is like, I got this, guys. And he does like all the calculations in his head.
It's like, you know, when we're in chess when you make the moves before the game.
Pre-move.
Yeah, pre-move. That's what he's done with this draft. He just got all the heroes already.
He already knew what they're gonna pick.
Yeah.
Sometimes those pre-moves aren't really that great, and you lose, you know, a
Yeah,
figure
because
or
you're a little
two.
bit cocky.
Yeah, you're a little. Not every single player is Hikaru or whatnot. So
Magnus Carlsen, yeah.
you know, it can bite you. And so far for PSG.LGD, I still feel like they did get outdrafted a little bit, considering these first 4 picks. Same
Do
like
they
in the
care,
first game.
though?
Do they care? In the first game, they didn't. Maybe we will see the what did you? You guys were talking yesterday about Terrorblade going Midas.
Yeah,
So-
no.
No, we weren't. That
There wa-
is
there wa-
not
was
true.
There was B-Cop. He
We
said
want that stricken from the record.
some guy tried to make it meta to
Yeah,
buy
yeah,
Midas.
that's
Nah,
it.
King, yeah.
No, I'm
no,
just
that's what they
saying.
do.
After seeing last game with 1 Aghanims, 1 Battle Fury, 2 Midases,
You never
anything
know,
is
huh?
possible. Yeah.
So, what is the most obvious pick? Dragon Knight?
They need a
Probably.
nice tempo hero. EHOME need to unlock their inner tempo, don't they?
I like Dragon Knight here for EHOME to do just that. Very tanky, minus damage for all the summons.
Yeah, Kunkka is also good, but banned out by PSG.LGD.
Yep.
Kind of serves the same purpose. That Prophet, perhaps, is that banned out? It also is an option.
Mm-hmm.
It's an option.
I'd like
yep.
that. We've said a lot. DP's just said,
Tide
oh,
Hunter, okay.
Okay.
So it's
So
mid
Mars,
Mars
mid-Mars,
slash Tide
yeah.
Hunter.
I mean, they could flex it, I guess. I mean, we've seen Tide mid in
Mid Tide
certain-
is pretty decent. Like
Yeah,
it's
so-
hard to harass out of lane. And I mean, wherever the Lycan is gonna go, he's gonna have a tough lane now. Whether it's against Mars
Yeah,
or
they're just
Tide
making Lycan's life as hard as possible, but it was already difficult. I feel like it's an overkill to go with this Tide Hunter when you
Yeah.
had Mars before as well.
I mean, I agree. And now Ursa looks really scary too. But Ursa into Terrorblade also. Like TB right now, he covers those 2 heroes quite a bit because all the heroes that are really good against Tide Mars, TB is very good against.
Now they have 2 minutes to formulate the perfect plan. More like 2.5 minutes, to be honest.
So what is there? Like, there's Ursa that breaks tanks. There is...
Monkey is banned.
Banned.
They
They could
can't
go all
with
in and put
Monkey.
Lycan carry. I don't like that very much though. It's so hard to run
but
into Mars.
If they go
Tide-
with Lycan carry, I would like to see some huge DPS magic
Lash
distance
rack.
dealer.
Well, that's not
Possible.
distance.
a Lash
Not
mid
zero
could be
is-
pretty good, but Mars is not terrible against Lash.
Could you that Prophet as well on PSG.LGD?
Timber saw.
Timber.
Now
Ah,
that
the
is a tank
tank
breaker.
slayer.
Yeah. And it is an offlane Timber. Also against Terrorblade, of course, one of the best offlaners in the game.
Jinkyu with
But still-
Grimstroke Timber, that lane is pretty difficult.
If this TB gets 2-3 items, it's going to be tough for LGD. Like he gets the Saint Jasha BKB, I can see a lot of potential for them. But considering what I saw game 1, I'm going to go LGD.
Quick recovery. Black goes for LGD. Lizard,
Yeah, I'm going to go with LGD.
what a shock.
Basically because of the first game and how it went. I also think that they'll bait out a couple of these big spells, arenas, ravages with Timber, and this Timber will be the one that actually carries them.
I need to see the quick buys first. If I see any minuses. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going for LGD as well, of course, you know, and I'm not a maniac after seeing that first game. I think it was very convincing, and there were some big problems with EHOME, and I really hope they address them in this second game, but it's a big mountain to overcome. So let's bring in our casters of Bcop and Lacoste and find out what they have to say about game number 2.
Yeah, you know, looking at LGD's draft, I think it's a good look so far. I'm worried about Midas Terrorblade, but hopefully that doesn't happen. That you guys were right. That was the God King special when he was trialing for newbie. It was.
I'll love me some Hand of Midas.
I think he played like 13 games, lost all 13 on Terrorblade.
What a surprise.
It was not working, and yeah, I'm gonna go LGD. Pretty confident.
I'll join you guys. You know,
Well,
I've seen EHOME. EHOME has a good draft once again, but I'm a bit worried about the execution and how we're gonna itemize, how we're gonna play it out. So LGD it is. Also, I think this Timbersaw is gonna cause a lot of issues. He's playing into like Terrorblade. He's playing into Mars. They don't have the answer for this hero. Like usually that hero didn't scale, but right now
5-man
this-
smoke, by the way, by Radiant.
You're all a liar.
No, they
guys
actually,
are
they
lying.
actually did.
They actually did. So we are going to send it across to you guys.
Fast,
Bcop and
fast.
Lacoste, take it away for game number 2.
Oh, they actually do 5-man smoke. Okay, that works out. We'll see if they get anything from this 5-man smoke. This is the first time they've not lied in a while. And, ooh, smoke broken on Fade. Nothing to say. Innocence both there. But, yeah, this isn't going to turn into a skirmish. Unfortunately. It's not
Whenever
the
you say
5v5.
nothing to say, I feel like I need to say something. Like I'm just getting baited. You
I'll
know,
try
I
to
have
say his
nothing to
name
say
more
about
often.
this item build, so like I have to step in.
I mean, is that what you think about my analytical abilities, that I just always have nothing to say?
No. I respect that. I respect
30 seconds
your
to
Dota
battle.
knowledge, B-Cop. Don't worry about it. I'm always open
a
up for
mistake.
like new experiences, down to learn something.
God's Rebuke missing on Innocence, who was in the Mars's face. Just wasn't able to land the God's Rebuke. I think that's the first time I've ever seen a hero so close to the Mars that he avoided the God's Rebuke. Because it seemed like that should have hit. XM on this mid-Mars. It's been a while since we've seen the mid-Mars. Not a hero that we often see mid, but it has been flexed quite a number of times. So we'll see how that does. And they're sending Ajit into the off lane, looking for a matchup up against this Lycan. We'll see how that pans out for this TB. No Midas queued up yet. Although there are gloves in the quick buy. I know those aren't going towards the Midas, but we never know. Could be Midas.
It's just power treads, unfortunately, for all the haters out there. So they will have Lycan on the top lane paired up against Shawn. Like this, Lycan should not have that easy lane, I would say. Like they're sacking the bottom lane because Timbersaw is playing into 2 strength heroes. Should have an easy time, especially when paired up with the Grimstroke.
Who already going to that Metamorphosis looking for Innocence, who will back up into the trees with that battery assault. So Metamorphosis, not the worst to just use here, get some farm, output some damage, get that clockwork backing off. Once it's on cooldown again, I wouldn't be surprised to see LGD go in for a potential kill here. And I wouldn't be surprised if Faith Beyond, once he's like level 3, level 4, maybe we see Jinkyu rotate with this Grimstroke.
Oh, for sure. He needs to make a rotation to the top lane, help out possibly Lycan, maybe even get a kill on a mid lane, even pre-level 6 on a Puck. But once Puck gets level 6, I want to see a rotation either from Clockwork or a Grimstroke to secure a kill on the Mars.
Trying to go in on Innocence still up top, and they don't have the damage to kill him after Metamorphosis runs out. A couple more right clicks from Fade, who used Shackle for a split second, let go of it, and then allowed Innocence to just get through the
Radiant's
trees
top
and
tower
escape.
is under
But bottom lane now, some good pressure on the Faith Beyond.
He
Might be first
oh
blood,
my
yeah.
god, he needed like 1 CS. Look at that XP. That's nothing. That's a 1 finger of a creep that they needed to chop off for him to be level 2.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
He's like 1 experience away, and now up in the top lane, battery assault, Innocence still running, getting through the trees. He is on the edge and cusp of dying constantly, but he still survives again and is able to pop a salving swell. And with the Timber Chain and the Whirling Death, Chalice gets quite low, but doesn't end up dead just yet.
They don't have any regeneration left on the bottom lane, so should be very careful. Also, Fate Beyond, going for like a killer type of a build, Timber Chain and Whirling Death. They need to bring some regen to the bottom lane, Tidehunter, Salve, and Tangos. If they can somehow kill the Courier, that would be pretty hype.
Could potentially see this lane spiraling out of control for EHOME.
I'm a bit worried, sorry, Bikup, about Ame's game.
Right.
You know, he's playing into 2 biggest counters, bottom lane.
Well, again, Chalice avoiding it this time. Faith Beyond able to back off. They also had X-Nova quite low.
Playing Lycan into Tidehunter, Anchor Smash, playing into Mars Arena, where you can't move, you can't enter, just kind of ruins your hero.
Trying to run around, find the proper opening. Is it a game worth getting? It doesn't look like it. Biting anybody else in this game doesn't feel very value.
No,
Shackle.
like you just don't get the value out of it.
Ame running under the tier 1, and oof, again, just these heroes living on the edge. But Fade, he wants to go through the trees and potentially kill off Ame, which now forces him to go all the way back.
There's a rotation.
They're gonna TP in the Grimstroke, but they end up losing Innocence. Maybe they could do something with this, but Jinkyu immediately getting harassed and pushed away. Not really the movement that they were looking for.
Nothing to say will need to be active. Like, lanes are not going well for PSG. LGD, like Timbersaw, he needs levels. Now he's going to play 1 versus 1. Has finally 1 point in reactive armor. Once he starts getting the levels, you know, it's going to be easier for him for sure. But until he gets the levels, died once because he needed that 1 experience to be level 2, get out of the trouble.
At what point in the game does a Timber normally look towards getting that shard? Like, is the shard even good this game? We've been seeing it a lot on Timbersaws.
I'm just thinking about like his first item. He's going for the bottle, something that we usually like don't see on the Timbersaw. But I guess he just wants to be able to put some more pressure in the lane.
You know, we've seen a
They
bunch of
have a
offlane
lot
bottles.
of you know, physical damage in this one.
Sweep on a Fabian, and while they're trying to get around him, Timber Chain whirling death into the trees, trying to escape, sitting low on health. And he pops that stick. I'm not certain that's going to be enough with the gush and the right clicks. Timber Chain getting more distance. It's a long amount of chase, but it should eventually result in a kill here.
The
which
problem
it does.
is he did not have any stacks on him. It's going to be, I'd say, a tough itemization for him where you like want to get the hood since they have some magic. I still feel like you need a hood of this hero. You're playing into Mars, into Shadow Shaman, but there's also a lot of right-click damage. A Lotus Orb is going to be fired this game against against TB, against the Shadow Shaman. Just going to be probably his second item. But my man's struggling. I thought it's going to be a much easier game for Fabian on the bottom lane. One small mistake kind of ruined his early game.
Yeah, playing pretty sacrificial at the moment over bottom. Not something that is too uncommon with him. Next, I'm picking up a regen rune as he's got that bottled up, ready to sustain over mid. 41-7 for Nothing to Say, 34-5 for XM. So that lane looking pretty even thus far. Jinkyu getting a little bit of a D-ward action going on, and Ame just trying to farm up as best he can. He's sitting 33-8, so not having the worst time in this lane. But, you know, the CS is a little bit of a misdirect to where he is in terms of net worth. But everything towards the top is pretty close. Dream Coil Arena comes in and, well, trying to get away, but they got themselves the cogs, which locks up XM for the duration of the arena. Inkswell pops, and with the Illusory Orb, Nothing to Say gets a kill on XM, who was having a really good time over mid. Really well done there by Innocence to get those cogs, because if he's got the arena, might just leave and doesn't end up dying.
Yeah, good rotation from both supports. LGD makes a rotation with the Dream Coil. They get a kill. Timbersaw, how's he doing? He's getting closer to level 6. Tidehunter already is level 6. Doesn't have too much mana to work with. That's the problem with the Tidehunter. They're making a move. 11 walk charges.
Yeah, this is looking really bad for Chalice. They've got the Inkswell on him. Looks for the body blocks. Goes to the Ravage with the sleep. Okay, that hits on the 2, but is it going to keep Chalice alive? Cogs push him away, looking for the Stroke of Fate. Fainting it a couple times, finally lands onto the Tidehunter, but they've brought over their 2 supports. They've got the Shackle and the Anchor Smash. Innocence ends up dead to X-Nova, who's hitting really hard. Whirling Death coming through on a Chalice. Illusory Orb catching up to this Tidehunter, who already used that Ravage, so really doesn't have much to play with, but still surviving as the sleep is massive and keeping alive the Tidehunter, who looks like he wants to turn around, but that was a bad decision as he gets hit by the Inkswell. Jinkyu dies.
Back online.
X-Nova, well, he'll end up getting himself a second kill, but the Dream Coil plays down. They get the kill on a fade. They look over at X-Nova, who tries to get another sweep, but won't land it this time, and with not a lot of mana to play with, both Nothing to Say and Faith Beyond will back away.
They use that like Ravage straight away. EHOME's lineup's very good at like counter initiating with the Ravage. Mars Arena, they have like one of the best ability in terms of like Echo Stomp. You still need the levels, but eventually you'll get there. So it's gonna be much harder for LGD to just like go in and make stuff done.
And the Tide was surviving thanks to the Morbid Mask.
Morbid Mask, a lot of lifesteal,
Yeah.
those Vaughn charges. Tide really struggles early on with the mana. Oh, he's going into some heavy right-click damage. Deso Phase Boots.
I always love seeing this build on Tide. And then I play it, and it doesn't go nearly as well. That's why I like to watch it, though, when it gets executed right.
Makes complete sense to me, B-Cup. That's why I always see you spectating the game instead of playing.
That's not entirely false at all. Over mid, Ajit. 2 Wraith Bands going into the Yasha. No Midas queued up.
Dire's
No
top
God
tower
King
is
build
under
here.
attack.
Although we could be going into the Sanjin Yasha and doing that build, but it looks like just right now it's the Yasha. See where he goes from there.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Only a little bit of a lead for LGD. This game is much closer. QQQ certainly setting EHOME up for success. They'll go for the tide again. They've got 4 heroes up in this top lane. They'll look for the sweep. They've got the spear and the arena. Timber Chain, no way.
24 stacks. Oh my god, 3-man coil.
Yeah, right on top. They're going to turn this one
Lean them up,
massively.
boys.
Faith Beyond, he's even staying on this as the Ravage gets thrown over. They hit the spear on a Lycan, but it doesn't attach to anything, so they get the kill on X-Nova. They also end up losing Faith. They'll go after XM, trying to chase this Mars. Slow him down just a bit, but they won't chase near the tier 1 tower. That ends up with 0 kills for EHOME on that.
That was such a big turnaround. Like, Timbersaw is insane hero. Sometimes it's all it takes, like 1 extra hit. If you don't get it off, like 1 extra spell, it's just gonna feel bad. That cloak, magic wand, keeping him alive, gets out. Good rotation from the puck. I guess we're gonna see that one again. Because, yeah, Timbersaw, like, having that hood right now, so that's gonna help quite a lot.
Wow,
Shaman
really committing mid.
drops the wards, like meta, shaman wards, and a catapult. I think that's a bit too much, but they just wanted to go in and clean it up instantly.
Maybe a little bit of aggravation coming in as they've used Ravage twice. It really hasn't amounted to much, especially that top lane fight where it just completely gets turned around. So they want to get themselves a tower, squeeze the map a little bit for LGD, and maybe find some success around the map, get some open space to farm, especially the TB, who is doing quite well. Second on the net worth. Really opening up some space for Ajit. Sleep not going to land on Faith Beyond. Now they're really starting to have trouble here with this Timbersaw. And Faith Beyond just turning around and really
right
asking them to
now,
fight.
they're like, do we go in again? Like, do we bring the numbers? They see the hood, so extra 325 magic damage, possibly. Timber running low on mana. What is he bringing? He's bringing just a couple of TPs.
Take a look as hook shot not landing with the Inkswell combo. Cogs to push away XM, but they've got the Hex. They're looking for the Shackle or the Sleep. Sleep lands on the edge, but the Silence, so no Spear is going to be thrown over at Innocence just yet. Finally, there's the finish.
It's a 4-man rotation just to kill position 5 Clockwork, which I think PSG.LGD is fine with. Necro 3, done on Lycan.
Dream Coil committed. Coming through onto the Elder Titan with the Inkswell. Should pop, should land, and should be a kill. X-Nova ending up dead. They still got some heroes here from the side of EHOME, but there's nothing that they can do to react to this. And
Whenever I talk about
Good.
Shaman, like, you need to have good ways of protecting the hero. Like, you have Tidehunter, one of the best ones for sure. You have ET, but it's also going to be problematic this time around. You're playing into Lycan. No one wants to just stand their ground and be able to, like, yeah, I'm just going to hit this Necro Warriors, try to sleep though, because they're just too speedy. Also, like, Tidehunter, if he misses the Anchor Smash on that, you're not actually saving anything. So Shaman could be in a trouble, also like playing into Clockwork, into Double Silence from Puck and Grimstroke could be problematic.
I like this build from Ame coming in. Necro 3, no boots, going into the AC.
Understands that they have a ton of physical damage, ton of minus armor coming out from, like, the Gush, ET Aura. He needs to be able to just tank up the team.
I like it better than what we've been seeing with a lot of Lycans, with like that first item Orchid, just trying to use that. Like, I like this so much more.
Auras are always a bit tricky into Terrorblade. He gets the reflection off, then you have a free aura, but yeah, you can't just think about, I will not buy any aura items because there is reflection. Hook shot in.
And that will land on X-Nova, who's hit with Phantom's Embrace to follow that up. Look for an Inkswell diving under the tier 2 tower. Risky, and Innocence. Well, he'll get the kill, but he'll end up getting traded. Meanwhile, though, nothing to say goes down to XM. The arena was used. Jinkyu gets caught out. That was Ravage used. And 3 kills there for EHOME. They finally take a net worth lead for what feels like the first time this series.
Yeah. Puck going into Dagon. There was one Puck the other day that like really refused to buy any defensive tools, and he was playing into either Lion or Shadow Shaman, and into one Silence, if I remember correctly, because we've seen a lot of games, you know, can't remember everything. But this time around, I would also love to see something defensive.
Right.
Just playing into Shaman, 1 Hex, you're dead.
They know Chalice doesn't have Ravage, so they'll chase a little bit. Just do some little chip damage there. Not really the worst thing for Chalice. And Innocence fainting that hook shot. Thinking about moving in, but now he's surrounded by 2 heroes. Make it 3. Dream Coil comes in. Should be able to get the kill there onto the Elder Titan. He's silenced up, so no sweep is coming in. They also get the kill on a Fade, so Faith Beyond gets 1. Ami gets the other. Now they should be able to have the damage.
Good
kill on
hook
the
shot.
Chalice, and the hook shot
Into
pushes
Cogs.
XM back with the Cogs. So that's perfectly lined up by LGD. They lose a fight, they take a fight, and they win this one. Should be able to grab a 4th as they've got the silence on XM. Nowhere for him to run. Everybody dead but the Terrorblade, who is just continuing to try and boost up that farm.
So much value in this game from the Inkswell. You have 4 heroes that love to go in.
Yeah.
You have Clockwork, Lycan, like even using it on Puck feels good. So Timbersaw could into that Lotus Orb I mentioned. It's extra mana regen. It's just great with their heroes, and he instantly changes it. Sometimes I feel like they're listening to us.
Well, they are. I think they are. Our voices go directly to
Yeah,
to
to
the
their
players.
TeamSpeak Discord, whatever they're using.
Coming through looking for the TB.
Top tower is under
Won't
attack.
continue to chase. I've only had that happen to me like once or twice.
Were pro players hopped into your Discord while you were playing a pub?
No, they heard me casting from the lobby.
Oh,
I think
okay.
the settings were placed wrong and they could just hear me. Pretty embarrassing.
I thought Somnus joined your Discord. It's like, what
No,
up,
no,
B
no,
Cup,
no.
man? I really like your build.
I was actually WSG Canada, and I was talking about how I really didn't like Dark Will at the time. Just felt super strong when it first came out. And all of a sudden, I just hear RTZ go, "Yeah, we hate Dark Will too." I'm like, "Wait, what?" I was solo casting. I wasn't expecting anybody to respond. I was just like, And they were like, "We could hear you." And then I just left the lobby, turned off the stream, and got too embarrassed. Shackle coming in onto Faith Beyond. Right clicks as well for the Metamorphosis from the TB. Timber Chain. Oh, just not going to be enough. Ajit getting the kill there, and we're starting to see maybe some power come in from this Terrorblade now that he's finished off that
Their
Manta
late
style.
game is superior. Like, EHOME just has a much better late game, so PSG.LGD, they need to make stuff done. Like, right here, right now. The lineup doesn't really scale that much, even though, like, Timbersaw's not the same hero anymore. He's really
Ooh, wow.
does
Knowing
well, good
exactly
arena.
where Ame was. The arena as well as the spear goes into the shapeshift. It's a fast-moving chicken, but they've got the soul bind as well as the hookshot coming in. They look to get the kill on a fade. The Ravage is out, and it's a pretty good one. And they should be able to clean up on this as they get the kill on Innocence. They're going to take out at least 1 in this engagement. Nothing to say, though, with a lot of health and mana to work with. The Illusory Orb comes across on a 3. Waning Rift silences up 2, and the Stroke of Fate. Oh, XM just surviving with a little bit of health. Avoids the Illusory
He
Orb.
avoids the spear as well.
Phase shift, Waning Rift, jumping away, and nothing to say. Should be able to survive here. Just Fade dying in Innocence. A lot of heroes sitting low on both sides.
They need to be able to take out Shaman first before he can get any spells off. If
they
they get a
spot
good jump, they're
Ajit.
still chasing.
Yeah, they want to go in on a Chalice who does not have Ravage. That was used just a little bit earlier. He gets under the tier 2 tower. Stroke of Fate doesn't land on a Chalice, but they still want him. They still want to get this kill onto the Tidehunter, and they should be able to do so with the Silence and the Chakram hitting. Faith Beyond cleans up Chalice, and they finally get a +1 in this entire engagement.
It took them a while to take down that watermelon, but in the end, they managed to do so.
Radiant's bottom
Now finally,
tower is under attack.
slicing through the watermelon, take out the seeds, slice it up, and pass it around. Good dessert. Good bit of gold.
Man, we're using technology in the right direction. You know, making seedless watermelon, like, this is the stuff that I want to see. I do not want to go to Mars or anything. Like, I just want to use it for simple stuff.
Arena down here with the spear landing onto Ame. And they've got the Hex, so they should have the control to finish this off. But the hookshot comes in. It looks looks like it's not going to be enough, though, to save Ame. However, they might be able to turn on to XM and at least get themselves one. XM falls to Innocence, and they do finish off the Lars, and that is a trade I don't think EHOME were expecting on giving.
Yeah, we could see in the previous fight where, like, Lycan, he goes in, you said, like, Chicken running around inside the arena, can't really do too much. I feel still that he needs a BKB to be able to get out of the arena and focus the right target, so he queues that up.
Ooh.
Like, big item that support can farm. I'll hold that
Coil.
thought.
A little bit of a bait here from Innocence. He just walked up, and they try to get the kill here on the Terrorblade. He's low, hit with the Phantom's Embrace, but they've got the Hex as well as the Serpent Wards around, and there is the Shackle. Stroke doesn't finish off the TB. However, maybe nothing to say, survives here as he's able to Waning Rift out and also gets a Blink.
That was so close. Like, if they get the kill, that's pretty high, pretty big. But if Jin Q can somehow manage to farm the Aghanim Scepter against the Terrorblade, you make a stronger illusion, which is magic immune, deals 150% of the TB damage.
Ooh.
That's the game-breaking Ags, like similar to, let's say, once Disruptor gets it. But I don't think they found Philosopher's Stone. So yeah, that's a big bummer for them. Once you get that item, it becomes so much easier to farm the Ags.
Yeah. It's going to take potentially 2 series to find that Philosopher's Stone. First you have the original, and then you have Brotherhood, and sometimes you don't even get the Philosopher's Stone, and he's looking for that Ag. So it's going to be some time until he gets the gold for that.
Oh yeah, Lord of the Rings and the Philosopher's Stone. Love that movie.
Full Metal Alchemist, but yeah.
I know.
Okay. You know, I got really
Because
disappointed.
people always, you know, talk about like Dumbledore and Lord of the Rings and similar stuff. So yeah, Dirty Tower falling down. They will be able to take the outpost. I like how Innocence has a position 5 Clockwork. Like, you don't give a damn if you die.
Yeah.
So he's just throwing his body out there, getting good trades, possibly like saving his teammates. Coil.
True Coil on a fade, and they're going to make this move and get the kill onto 1. Now they need to run phase shift, avoiding the sleep. Good job by Nothing to Say to get in and out.
Puck going all in on that damage. Has Fairy's Trinket, spell damage 5%, then has Veil, Dagon 2, spell amplification on level 15, so that Dagon's gonna hurt a lot. I'm just worried that, like, if he gets shackled or hexed, he might instantly die, so I would love to see like a defensive item, either a Lincoln Sphere, possibly even a BKB, because they have like a ton of magical damage. They have like nothing that goes through the BKB.
Shard was picked up by the Grimstroke, by the way. He's got ink over.
It's a good one, you know. Just another spell. Like some heroes have, like it just breaks how the game looks. Like if he gets that Aghanim Scepter, then you have one extra spell, Dark Portrait, and inventory
all
looks
those
bugs.
buttons. Yeah. I don't know. We see ink over a lot. And do you think it's a good shard? Up
Yeah,
there in the
it's
S
a
tier?
decent one, you know. It's not like Juggernaut Shard or the old Earthshaker Shard, but it's also not a Clockwork Shard.
Yeah. It's not Jetpack.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Although that
attack.
would be a cool addition to ability draft if you could draft shards.
Radiant are scanning.
Just a point.
Not a bad idea. Roshan, he gets
going
bashed.
for it. They're going to come through. They've got the Dream Coil down. They get the Cone of Fate. They're going to look over to the side and control with these cogs the Elder Titan. So they get the Cone of X Nova, who's going to buy back immediately with Fade. They get the
Ravage
Cone of
still
XN,
available,
and
but he just disappears.
yeah, they kill off the Tide so quickly. 4 heroes already dead. They'll go after this Terra Blade, and they should be able to get themselves a full team wipe. But the buyback coming out from both supports, this really doesn't feel great for EHOME at all. A 10k lead for LGD.
Oh man, that execution from LGD, and also something that we did not talk about is like this Phantom. You get so much value from it on the Tidehunter. You can't cracking it off. You actually need to hit it, which is a big problem for the Tidehunter. Doesn't have much attack speed. Usually Tide struggles against like Black Hole, Static Storms, Chronospheres. But this is also something that he doesn't like to play into.
Yeah, with him unable to get that Ravage off, that fight just takes a one-sided turn. Elder Titan just bought back. X Nova needs to get onto the high ground and leave.
Yeah, both of the supports bought back. And PSG.LGD understands like we need to go in, kill the support straight away, especially the Shadow Shaman. I talked about like the importance of being able to save Shadow Shaman, but once they are already on top of him with either a book, a Timbersaw, you do not want to ravage Timbersaw, you do not want to ravage the Necro Warriors, like not even a Clockwork, because they don't have any like saving items. There's no Force Staff, there's no Glimmer Capes yet, so a bit problematic. PSG.LGD going with the momentum right now.
Yeah, they know where their win conditions are at. This is feeling like a Shadow Shaman like we really haven't seen throughout the DPC because it's super underfarmed. We usually see these Shadow Shamans in some way secure some farm, and it feels like Fade just doesn't really have a game to play with at the moment.
It's a tough one for him. You know, already talked about all the bad matchups. He doesn't really like to play to any of these heroes.
Yeah.
Hook shot in.
That gets used, and well, speak of the devil, it's going to come through on a Fate, and they'll get the kill on the Shadow Shaman, dead for 70 seconds without buyback. And that is just rough to not have that support, especially where LGD are postured. They're ready to push into the high ground, and you're not going to have your control, your Hex, potentially, you know, a big part of this fight or a big part of this defense for 50 more seconds.
While you're talking, they're killing tier 3 towers. It's going down so quickly, like AC plus the Necro units.
They need a response, and it's going to have to start from probably a Ravage of some sort. Sleep comes in, but they've got the Dream Coil down, as well as the Arena with the Gods communicating out of the Clockwork. Spear comes down, that will latch, but they've got the Soulbind as well as the Dream Coil going up. They get the kill on
DB's
the
just
DB.
dead.
Whoa, Stroke of Fate comes in, and with the help of Faith Beyond, they get the kill on Ajit. He doesn't have buyback. This could start signaling the end. Hook shot, it lands. That's out on the Elder Titan. They've got the silence, and Ravage finally comes in. That might be enough to get one
only on
return,
two.
but it's not going to be enough to really turn this fight.
This might be it.
They've lost 4. They'll go after the Mars. They've got the BKB from XM, who will bulwark back towards the base, but man, can he not do much?
They just blew up that Terrorblade. They used the Grimstroke ulti, Ink over, double Dagon on 2 targets. Like, even if Terrorblade has buyback there, you don't get like any value from the buyback because you already used the meta.
Bought out on Scotty, and now we'll take this bottom set of racks. Mid and bottom gone, and with no tier 2 standing, sometimes you see that tier 2 in one lane, that last lane, but it's not standing here, so they can just go for the tier 3.
Rock just blinked in.
Yeah,
and he's dead. Well, that's one way to throw the game.
It's one way to stop the Mega Creeps from coming out. Now they'll back off. They've got themselves Aegis. They could just wait for 50 seconds to get nothing to say back into the game. Might give time for Terrorblade to get to the AC that he wants, but we'll see. They look to re-engage once again. They've got the Spear landing on Ame, but XM, he just cannot get anything done this game, and he is getting ripped apart, gone again.
Yeah, this doesn't feel like a mid-Mars.
No.
You know, looking at his items, 27 minutes in, it feels more of an off-lane Mars than a mid-Mars. Because I think Tidehunter, he stole his item build. Like, you do not want to go for double Deso. I'm not even kidding.
And usually you get that Deso when you've got a little bit more farm priority on the Mars, right?
Yeah.
Hex onto the Timber, but really not phased by that little act of aggression. And he's just able to stand here, right-click these towers. You need to be careful about how you approach this. Ether Shock, Stroke of Fate, that comes in and hits on X Nova, but they've got the sweep on Ame, and Hook Shot misses as well. Puck trying to get into this fight as quickly as possible. He's actually smoked up himself to try and make his way in. They take out the tier 3, they'll look for the set of racks and go after this Tide. They've got the Chakram on him as well as the Silence. The Soulbind now connects onto the Shadow
blow
Shaman,
him up
and
again.
They blew him up and did a lot of damage onto the Shaman too with double Dagon. They get the kill there onto X Nova. They'll look for more as the Dream Coil is placed down on them. 2 of these heroes. Metamorphosis pop, trying to get the right clicks down on a beat. Beyond, but he's so tanky, they just can't get the kill. Chakram hits on Ajit. XM trying to push his way forward and get something done, but Ajit falls again and nothing to say. They'll call GG. LGD, they'll take the series 2-0, and EHOME fall even further down as they have lost yet another series in this one, 2-0 to LGD.
This was supposed to be a bad matchup for Lycan, but Ame made it work. It was like Puck and also Timbersaw enabling him, creating a lot of space on the map. Like supports made the couple of good early rotations, killed the Mars on the mid lane. They made Shadow Shaman's life miserable, did not allow him to pretty much play Dota.
Yeah, he really wasn't able to do anything. LGD look really solid in that series. They take the 2-0. And to break it down a little bit further for you is the panel. Back over to you guys.
EHOME, they just get their mushroom sauteed twice in a row. That was absolutely brutal. Twice in a row. EHOME, I mean, there is something wrong here, guys. I mean, LGD, they looked good, sure, but EHOME, I don't know. Like, Black, I'm sure you've got some thoughts on the matter.
Yeah, let's just talk about, again, the items. Like, it just feels like the team has, like, zero trust in each other's plays, really. Like, the Tidehunter steals the Mars's item build, basically. He just goes, like, face burst into Desolator on an initiating offlane roll. Mars is like, okay, damn, I guess I gotta be the initiator. He goes Blink first and then into a BKB. And, I mean, it's just everything feels so weird. Like, this is what I would experience in, like, a pub game, you know? But not, like, in a cohesive upper
this
division
is exactly
team.
what I experienced a few pubs ago.
Exactly, this is exactly
That's
it.
what I experienced in my pub games, which is really worrying.
A Tidehunter doing this build with Morbid Mask into Dezo versus Lycan. Yeah, I've seen that. Do I like it? Sometimes.
If
Do
it's
I
a
like
mid-
it in
if it's
this
a mid-tide.
situation? No. Yeah, if it's a mid-tide.
I'm all for it, yeah. But
Is that the idea, to try and get rid of these Lycan creeps? Because I don't see
it is.
anyone else who can actually get on top of this game. Like, the Clock is just going to run away from him. He's got Herc, he's got Cogs to keep him away. The Puck, you're never getting on top of. The Timbersaw, you're never getting on top of. Like, that's what I don't understand.
No, there's
about
this build. There's a way to make this build work, but you need heroes that enable you. You need probably you need a mid lane Tidehunter, and then you need something like Darkseer Surge on top of you. And then you run in with Desolator and you get that talent early on and you just whack away. It's doable, but the last time I've seen it actually work was from OG, maybe a year ago. Maybe a little bit every 8 months, something like that. But that's only when you have these enablers. If you don't have enablers, like a Wisp at least, it feels very awkward.
In fairness, we did say before the series started that we wanted to see some innovation rather than just following the meta. Maybe EHOME taking that a little too far, though, perhaps.
Yeah, innovation is good, but what they did was a little bit crazy. And 2 games in a row, too. So it wasn't just game 1 where they were like, yeah, maybe we're just too far behind. They just did it in both games. And to me, like, that just signals a lack of trust, really, in each other.
And if you step away a little bit from the items, it's not like their playstyle is perfect. PSG.LGD, with what they've got, they've overplayed their hand, really. Like, when you see this Lycan doing so much, he's playing in the same fight, he's killing Mars and Tidehunter. Lycan should be a scared puppy here. He should be the one running away, not the one chasing a Tidehunter and the Mars, because they're just so very strong against him. And one big team fight which completely turned everything in PSG.LGD's favor was that Roche fight, right? Like, they go into the Roche before the Scuddy is completed. They needed, what, 800 gold for Scuddy, maybe? Yeah. And it's not even that. They pre-use the meta, and then when the fight is starting, the meta is running out, plus the arena is whiffed. The Grimstroke even dodges the spear of the Mars in the arena. They just played better. It's as simple as that. They played every single team fight better.
That's as simple as it is, then. What more is there to say about it? Well, there is something to say, and that's our MVP for this game. And the MVP for game number 2 is going to be the Puck. You're absolutely right.
What a surprise.
There is something to say. The MVP will be nothing to say.
Yeah, we tried to get an interview with him, but unfortunately, he just had nothing to say, so we won't have that.
I was thinking him or Grimstroke. Nothing to say. 11-2-11. Grimstroke 220, like 220. Like, Grimstroke did a lot of work this game as well. The Phantom's Embrace, Lacoste called it out, was just way too strong versus Tidehunter. And you couldn't feel those ravages, right? Where were they? Like,
slightly a Rassive Pavage here and there, that's for sure. It wasn't looking great, but Inkover, haven't seen that one in a long time, but it looked pretty good. When they lack mobility, when they lack the blink daggers, you know, just slowing them down, stopping them getting into the fight, seem to be doing a lot of work in this time around. So really like that pickup from the Grim in this game. When you need a couple of slows, it's definitely a great option to go for. I feel like those are my favorite shards, the ones which have like niche circumstances, but if you can take advantage of that, it's really good.
Yeah, the ones that you can build every game are just too good. It's not supposed to be like that, right? Like you
Yeah.
shouldn't just build this item every game just because like you have it. Yeah. So
It's so like Grimstroke. Once you buy Aghanims and the shard as well, becomes like this hero that has 10 spells that you can choose
Yeah.
from. You have to click all of that, man, and then you need items as well. Some E-Blade, perhaps Dagon, Hex.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the true Grimstroke connoisseur, you know, you don't click all of them. You go, oh, which spell do I want to use right now? I feel like Inkova would be perfect for this situation. But yeah, I mean, the Ags with the shard, you just bully a carry. They're like getting hit by themselves for 140% damage or whatever, and they're slowed. Like, it's pretty funny to do that.
He
but
becomes a handful, definitely.
certainly does. Certainly does. Let's take a look at those standings, all important, of course, and see exactly where we're sitting right now. And after this win, LGD will even themselves out with Elephant, drawing up that place in the middle of the standings. That all-important qualification spot is now tied for, which is very exciting. Meanwhile, EHOME and Magma, they are tied for the relegation spot as well. That's also very exciting as well, because obviously, you know, these two teams, neither of them want to disappear down to the lower division. You don't get a second chance, as we know. Once you are in that bottom two, you are donezo. You are finally out, and there is no second place. So both these teams really need to grab themselves a win in the next week of games, which is going to be very, very difficult for the both of them, as they've got some tough matchups around the corner.
Magma is going to have it very tough, because they're
It's
playing versus
Elephant.
Elephant. Yeah, Elephant with that win will pretty much secure, I believe, the major
tiebreaker
wildcard.
at least.
A tiebreaker, yeah, at least.
Yeah, if
Tiebreaker.
Like LGD will have to win their next game. So at least with this win, they put themselves in a position for a tiebreaker. But that VG game is gonna be
Difficult.
It's gonna be a rough one.
Yeah, that's going to be very tough. VG versus LGD. Tough game for them. But let's have a look at the schedule coming up for the next day of play. And that will, of course, be on the 11th of March. We're going to have EHOME versus LBZS. So EHOME, you know, they are still good enough to beat LBZS, I would say.
Yep.
But at the same time, you know, with the pressure on them right now and how they've been playing today, and LBZS, they've been on a bit of a hot streak recently, taking some games off some of the Southeast Asian top dogs as well. So they really can't underestimate the series. And I think if they go into that series with the same attitude that come into this series, they could be in some serious trouble.
Yeah, definitely need to show up their best. Like LBZS is not a team to be underestimated, as you said. And if LBZS wins that, then suddenly there's like a three-way tiebreaker down there.
Ooh, so a second opportunity for LBZS.
I would still say that EHOME is probably a class above Magma and LBZS, right?
Especially with QQQ coming in now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Their drafts are still very solid, and if they don't do anything, like buy 3 Battle Furies and 5 Midases, they should be able to take that series.
Especially after the whooping they're going to get after this series from QQQ in the back rooms, just chasing them around the break room with a belt off. I'm just kidding. I'm sure it's all amicable and professional over there. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's action. Just a singular series, of course, as that's the format for this region. And one more week to go before we find out who's going to the major from this region and who will be relegated. Guys, we're reaching the end of the day, which means what have we learned from today?
Greed is not good.
Not always.
Yeah, not
Not
always.
always.
Yeah, we said, you know, you need to be as greedy as you can and get away with it. But if it's too much, you don't get away with it. Yeah, also Broodmother always disappoints.
Broodmother always disappoints.
Always.
Yeah, don't pick it, guys. Just don't pick Brood. There's no point. You make everyone mad, and then you lose the game anyway. So no Broods, please. That's gonna just about do it for today's action. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the 11th of March for the next day of play. From today, we're gonna be saying goodbye, and thanks for watching.
Again, facing nights in the morning, white lies are fading in, waiting for a sign that takes me back to the beginning. No time for guilt or pleasure, you know I can't do that. I wish that I knew better, 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 better. We tried to work this out before, but now I'm stronger. Ignite the fire once more, but I don't want you. Tracing city lights, make it right. I don't wanna press play. Ooh, days washing away. Facing nights in the morning.